Hi, Jagpreet, Daphne here. I'm really sorry I didn't get to see your correction earlier because I know that now you will have done your exam. So I'm really sorry this didn't get to you before. Um, yes, I know it's a long essay. It's a difficult title, and I think because it's a complicated title, you do need more time to think about it. Don't worry. Hopefully, you've had a lovely question and you've been able to write happily during the exam. But let me give you this anyway. Obviously. So nowadays, most green energy is becoming ever more prevalent in both developed and developing countries. Some argue they greatly reduce costs and are better for the environment, so we're going to talk about those. Others believe they're a threat to security. You're right, that's because there isn't enough. So, technology and business experts agree that most nations have shifted their preference towards renewable energy as it's sustainable and cheaper. However, some disagree due to geographic differences of countries. Um, you might say there are weather patterns in countries, all countries' weather patterns. But I think you want to, uh, I mean, you've said geographic, I suppose. In my opinion, green energy is safer for the environment and inexpensive. However, some development is required in allocation facilities. Um, yes, allocation facilities. Okay. You might say an allocation in assuring, or maybe I like allocation, assuring continued allocation. I'm not sure about the word facilities, but otherwise lovely. Yes, good. So I'm imagining maybe you live in Canada now, because a lot of your essays you have Canada in them. Um, on one hand, using solar, wind, and water as power generation sources would be cost effective and environmentally friendly. Now, here, uh, environmentally friendly, you've got an adverb going with an adjective. So an adverb is what qualifies the adjective as reduced would be um, um, you can't use as there, you'd have to say because of or due to. Reduce carbon emissions. You could have as carbon emissions would be reduced, but you can't do as reduced emissions. This is because they do not require fossil fuel for energy generation and only need natural sources. Exactly. Good. Uh, Natural sources. Okay. For example, a recent report by the Indian government stated that solar panels reduce electricity bills for their citizens by now. I would go have either have or had. Definitely present perfect because the time is not finished by 75% as well as improved. So you could have reduced as well as improved. That's okay. You don't need to repeat have. Therefore, green energy is substantially cheaper and environmentally friendly. Okay. We don't want to repeat that. You might say add kind to the environment. You don't want to repeat environmentally friendly. I know you were short of time, but we might have one more sentence in here. I think this strategy of kind of 3 good sentences before your example do not require fossil fuel. They are cost effective. Obviously, um, they can be used in all sorts of different. Well, you'd have to say they are attractive because of their impact on the planet. They've been a lot of people have invested into them. This idea of cost, we need to greatly reduce costs, and you've got this idea of reduce their electricity bills exactly. So you might say despite startup costs. Um, this kind of energy has been widely adopted, and then go into your example. So I think it's quite nice just to have that one more sentence in there. On the other hand, many people argue that solely depending on natural sources for energy could result in blackouts, as these conditions now, natural sources, yes, you're right, these conditions, but I would say, because you haven't referred to conditions before, so I would say conditions, either weather conditions or the quantity of sun or rain changes frequently. This is because sources like sunlight and wind are never available at a consistent rate throughout the year, which would not satisfy the demand of energy. Yes, or thus. We don't use it often. But thus making, with the participle, the satisfaction of energy demands unmeetable. You could have changing it around completely. Yours is absolutely fine. Just give you an alternative, just for so you can see a different way of doing it. For instance, Canada only receives sunlight for a couple of months a year. Really? With an occasional wind streams. This would have wind streams or wind storms. This would have a drastic effect on the economy as energy available would be limited. Good. Consequently, there is a requirement for more development in sustainable methods of energy distribution. Very nice. To conclude, I agree with the notion of using renewable energy, but more innovation is required. Absolutely fantastic. What a super essay. I don't know how much longer it took you, but that is excellent. Really, really lovely writing. Brilliant there. You've covered the question very well, even if you felt slightly unsure about it. That worked. Yeah, I so hope it goes well today. Went well today. But capital letter. Help. Come on. Capital letter here. And no, yours faithfully. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Yours faithfully with dear sir. And capital letter for dear sir. I'm writing regarding the cute tiny dog you bought last month. Although I love your dog, I've been having trouble because of the barking. Let me explain. Oh no, explain the situation to you, or let me explain my situation. Let me explain something to somebody. I live in the house next door, and I'm studying mech engineering at the University of Toronto. I have to pass tough courses. Now, be careful here because we pass an exam in English. We take a course. It's a kind of tricky translation that is hard to remember. You take a course, but you pass an exam. Well, actually, you take a course, you take an exam, and then you pass it. Yeah, so we use take not pass. Like fluid mechanics and advanced calculus, so I had to study hard after classes. I'm not able to concentrate on my studies as the barking starts in the evening. Moreover, I have trouble getting good sleep because the barking, you could just put this, yeah, continues overnight. I request you, watch out here, I request you to take some action. I request you to, doesn't quite work. I request you to do this. It works on very, very formal writing, but probably not this. You could put dear neighbour, thinking of that. Dear sir, madam is very formal. I think it might be better to say, would it be possible for you? Yeah? Say, I know this is awkward, but would it be possible? Something like that. If you take some actions as it's affecting my daily life. I suggest you should buy a mouth cover for your dog, which would help to control the barking. I'm looking forward to prompt. Yeah, absolutely. Yours faithfully. So you've gone on pretty formal. You could write this on a slightly more kind of medium, neutral kind of style, a little bit more sort of friendly, but it doesn't matter as long as you get this right. So I really hope maybe if you do see this, please, please, please get this right on the greetings. But otherwise, amazing or good luck or please keep me in touch. Take care.